I'll try my best. Okay. Thank you all for coming tonight. Let's have them hear us. Let's say Liberty! 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 This is a great crowd. These are the die-hard people who are here to protect our civil rights, no, our natural rights under the Second Amendment. Thank you all for coming, braving the weather. It's fantastic. This just shows, as someone just said, every single person here represents 100 people plus. So be proud. Thank you for coming. And we're here to fight against Como's pro-crime bill. Yes, it's pro-crime because what it does nothing to actually protect the violence in this country. All it does is it empowers the criminals, but the criminals being both those who do crimes and those inside that building. Yeah. And what it does is it takes away the rights of the law-abiding, non-violent people like everyone here who have their Second Amendment rights to protect themselves, and it's just outrageous. Campaign for Liberty is created to protect our people from here in New York and across the country from the government taking away our rights to increasing use of violence, which is these laws that have been coming out. What most people don't know, according to the FBI, is that the total number of violent crimes in the United States have actually come down by 50% since 1991, and the percent of murders has gone down by 54%, despite the fact that there are now over 300 million firearms in this country and growing. The media does not say anything about that, but it's important for us to let everyone else know because they're telling us the complete opposite. Yet Como chooses to go after the type of firearm that ranks among the bottom of the list in terms of murders. In 2011, only 5 murders in New York State were caused by any rifle. And that's yeah, evil. Yeah, but the AR-15s, it's just a cosmetic change, and somehow that's going to be used as a victim step. Why don't they go after the? Why don't they go after baseball bats or knives or fists? Because hammers, they all cause more murders than AR-15s or any other of these so-called assault weapons.
They're in a fork.
The Militia Act of 1792, which was passed around the same time as the Second Amendment, stated that any able person should be able to carry a military-style rifle and ammo to be used in an emergency. During World War II, the Japanese refused to invade Western U.S. because they said there would be an armed civilian behind every blade of grass. Germany never invaded Switzerland for the same exact reason. But we all know the main reason for the Second Amendment was created, when you read the Founders' Papers, is to deter and prevent tyranny from any government. The Founders were very wise because in the 20th century, the #1 cause of violent murders by far was democide, which is governments murdering its own people after gun registration and bans, which ended up being well over 219 million people. That is 5 times the #2 cause for murder, which is war, at 30 million. While many but not all gun registrations and bans lead to democide, every democide was started with gun registration and bans to disarm the people. Think about that.
Registration is a tool to take the guns away.
Well, with everything that we're seeing with Obama's NDAA, indefinite detention, now assassination with drones against U.S. citizens, and now being allowed to operate within the U.S. soil, I say never again! Never again! Even with violent crimes and murders down by 50%, we still need to look at and have a healthy debate as to what's causing the actual violence around here. And looking around the world, there's no correlation between legal firearm ownership and violence. However, looking at the U.S. and its complicated society, there are 3 main variables that we should actually look at. One, if you look at it, most of the violent crimes and murders are double the national average in any population center over 250,000 people in very specific neighborhoods. For the most part, these cities have the most restrictive gun laws. Cities like Chicago, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. had the highest murder, as aggravated assault, and rapes in the country because they know their victims are less likely to be legally armed.
Yeah, that's right.
On the other hand, in the rest of the country, where a good portion of the legal gun owners reside, crime is among the lowest in the world.
Kennesaw, Georgia.
Second, of the violence that does exist, the vast majority can be tied to the failed war on drugs. Think Prohibition, Al Capone, gangsters. Prohibition did not work then, and it does not now. Despite spending $1 trillion and sending millions to jail, including non-violent drug users, drugs are now available to more children than ever before, while causing violence to drugs, to gangs, and retaliation. If you look at Portugal, that decriminalized all drugs 10 years ago, violence dropped by 50%, and substance abuse also dropped drastically because they treat it as a health issue rather than a crime. The third variable that is devastating is the effect of poverty and unemployment. 54% of all teenagers between the age of 16 and 24 are unemployed in this country. And according to Walter Williams in his PBS documentary, Good Intentions, much of this is due to minimum wage.
They want to raise it again.
They want to raise it again, and small minority businesses and mom and pop stores cannot afford to pay the minimum wage to let teenagers get their first job, build experience, leaving only like big companies like Walmart and McDonald's to hire, but they cannot hire everyone that needs a job. In suburbs, that means teenagers live with their families, draining the middle class. But in the inner cities, what that means is they don't have that luxury. They have no way of helping themselves, so they have to hit the street. They have to start dealing drugs, and that's what's causing violence in this country. We have to look at reality and see what's really causing the violence. It's not guns. It's the aspects of society that leads to violence and crime, which is poverty. It's the whole failed war on drugs. So if we want to have real action to reduce violence, we need to stop the failed war on drugs. We have to eliminate minimum wage. We have to stop things like Agenda 21, where they're trying to come in and take away our property rights.
Yep.
And we have to repeal Cuomo's pro-crime gun bill. So let's work together. We have police collect your information, but we need to not only rally, we have to go inside that building, talk to the representatives, and tell them they cannot get away with taking away our Second Amendment rights.
Right.
Thank you, everyone. Let me hear one more liberty. So they can